Hear ye, hear ye. I'm Dave Nelson. On this 28th day of January 2015, I call to order this, the 37th meeting of the SciFi Geeks Club from GalacticNetcasts.com. So slap on the membership pin, give the secret handshake, and let's begin introducing our guest this week. He's the host of the Spoiler Room podcast, Film Jerks podcast, the Final Cut movie review show, and staff member and reviewer at WeLiveFilm.com. Man, Mark, you're busy. Welcome to the SciFi Geeks Club. Mark, you told me how to pronounce your last name. What is it?
It's Krawczyk.
Krawczyk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark's fine.
Mark Krawczyk, a.k.a. Movie Man Mark. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing good. Honored to be on the show in the club here. So thank you for having me on.
Well, thanks for making time. We appreciate it. All right, let's bring on the regular co-hosts, Brad Ludwig, Anessa Moyens, and Matt Stein. Welcome aboard, guys.
Whoop, whoop.
Hi.
A big welcome back to Anessa. Anessa's been gone for a while, and Matt is his usual ornery self. I can feel it already.
Ornery, I'm half asleep.
Poor Matt.
Are you still recovering from that nasty cold you had last week?
A little bit. I had a long day. I've been home for 10 minutes, and here I am.
You're a trooper. See,
you are a trooper.
Last week
I didn't even talk to my wife.
Aww.
What?
Okay,
I'm
Matt,
kidding.
Matt, I want you to get up right now. I
gave her a hug. I gave her a hug before I came in here.
All right.
Okay. So, welcome aboard. We begin each episode with the hypothetical question of the week. So, I want you all to think about your answer and each give me a unique, special, and creative answer to this question. Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
If you could be in any of the sci-fi movies being released in 2015, which one would it be and why?
You already know my answer.
Our guest answers first. So, Mark, go ahead.
I would be in Terminator Genesis.
You son of a bitch! That was my answer. Sorry.
I can choose again.
No.
I would be in Terminator Genesis because I would go ahead and just shoot John Connor, get it out of the way, and prevent that film from ever continuing forward. That's what I would do. I'd just go up and take care of him right there and there.
Not a fan of the Terminator franchise.
I am a devotee, crazy fanatic of Terminator 2. There are only 2 Terminator films in my perspective, and that's where it stops. So there's nothing.
Everything after number 2 is crap.
Yes. Yeah, basically. It's 3 definitely, because 3 totally deflated and took all the meaning out of 2, and then they tried with the next one, but it just didn't live up. For me, it's 1 and 2. So.
Which one was Chris Hardwick in? He was in number 3, I believe. They always mention that on the Nerdist podcast, and he was like fat Chris Hardwick. He overweight.
He was he was drinking a lot at that point.
Yeah.
He always talks about on the podcast that's his twin brother or something.
There's just nothing in that trailer that shows that there's any promise of any depth that 2 had, or 1. You know, the fun of 1, the depth of 2, and that was it. I just not looking forward to it. So I just go and assassinate John Connor right there. Robots win. Okay, move on.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the actual movie itself. This is going to be fun because that's our discussion story this week. Is the big sci-fi blockbusters or potential blockbusters of 2015. We'll be talking about that here in a few minutes. All right, moving on. Who's next? Who wants to answer next?
Matthew does.
I don't even care anymore.
Aww.
Mark took my answer, and I was really excited to give that answer because I knew no one would ever think that would have been my answer.
It would have been a huge shock.
I don't even care about what else comes out this year besides Terminator.
How about the next best thing? And this is not on our list for some weird reason, but the new Road War, the new Mad Max movie.
Hey, that was gonna be my answer.
Okay. That's the only Mad Max I want to be a part of is Thunderdome, because welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
We don't need another hero.
I guess I could say Jurassic World because
Embargo on!
come on! What movie is no one gonna pick? I'll take that one. You know what? I'll take Ant-Man because no one cares about that movie.
You don't know that, Matt.
Is that your pick, Dave?
No.
Oh, okay. It
Yo,
better not
thanks,
be.
Matt.
Shit. Juniper Ascending. All right. Final answer.
Did you just say Juniper or
Juniper.
Oh, Juniper.
I bet Juniper Ascending would be a better movie, though, honestly.
A lot more gin drinking.
Back.
Okay. All right.
Jupiter Ascending.
Yes.
So that's your final answer?
Yes, my
Because
reasoning is
Channing
Channing
Tatum
Tatum's
is
abs.
dreamy. Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking of getting closer to Mia Kunis, but okay, you want to talk about
Yeah,
Tatum's abs,
whatever, cranks you crank, whatever.
Cranks.
Oh, it cranks my crank.
We should probably move on before that gets out of hand.
Okay,
Alright.
who wants to answer next? Inessa?
Yeah, I was thinking Mad Max just because it looks like a fun movie, and it's like I don't know, like I hadn't really thought about like any specific character that I want to be or direction that it wants to go in. I just would have liked to have been there on location filming the movie because it looked like it would have been fun.
You're going to be thirsty the whole time, though. It looks so hot.
That's the great thing about a movie, Dave, is they'll have water off the set.
Oh, but
Behind the camera, I go for water.
you're actually in the story. Didn't we
Ah.
by that?
Oh. Because I'm just thinking, like, in the movie, I'm like, am I acting in the movie? Am I an actor? Because then I'll just do that. It looks like fun. And they have quirky fashion, so, hey, why not? The other thing, too, is, like, we did a lot of traveling as a kid in RVs and whatnot, so you were always limited as to how much water you could consume and whatnot. So, I don't know. I think I'd be well prepared for that sort of society.
You're biological. Okay.
I'm ready. We had a flash flood in Del Rio, so we were out of running water for weeks before that was a thing. So wouldn't be that far-fetched to actually be in a setting where there was like very little water. No, I don't know. It seems like a really interesting world to be a part of, and it would be cool to experience, I guess, and in its own weird way, I guess, and not like a zombie flick or anything like that, because I would totally die right off the bat.
Right. First step to survival is admitting your weaknesses, right?
Well, my weakness is cardio, so, and that's rule number one in the zombie
You
world.
don't have
so.
to run fast. Just run faster than the guy next to you.
That's why she's dating me.
Now we know
She's gonna trip you, isn't she, Brad?
I'm just fat and old, so that works out.
Aww.
I would save you, sweetie.
Aww. Okay. Hey, you know what I want?
I'm guessing one of the superhero movies.
Ha! Avengers Age of Ultron. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm sure that was a shock to everybody. Why? Because superheroes, that's why, Dave.
Okay. I thought maybe there was a deeper reason.
Just to see...
Black Widow.
Well, that's a given. To see Jarvis kind of morph into the Vision. I think that to see the birth of that character and how they're going about doing it, I think that's really kind of cool.
Okay. Great answer. All right. So my answer, I don't usually answer the question, but I'm going to say Star Wars The Force Awakens, because I think it's going to be the biggest movie of the year, and who would want to be part of the biggest money-making and best sci-fi movie of 2015? I mean, come on.
Me?
And there it is. Okay.
We missed you, Matt, even though you were here last week. We still missed you.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You crabby so-and-so.
Your special brand of being a horse's ass, we love it.
No, it's awesome. You're
We
unique. You're a unique individual. It's awesome.
You're something.
That's Dave's super nice way of saying, yeah, you're kind of a jackass.
Hey, you said it. I did not. I did not do that. Putting words in my mouth.
That's all on you.
All right. Hey, let's start the show. But before
We should do a show.
Hey, I have to ask Mark something. Is that John Wesley, whatever his name, from the 1990s Flash on the back of your wall behind you?
Yes,
John Wesley Ship.
I was going to say John
is.
Wesley Snipes, but I knew that was wrong.
That is the John Wesley. Yes, on the back of my hanging up behind me to cover all the junk back there is that's the 90s Flash.
So,
that I got the poster back in the 90s. So
you got
Nice.
him. You got it looks like you have Star Trek 6. No.
Yep, I actually have it's 6. I got 2 Star Trek 6 posters. One of them's up there. Sideways is my Next Generation poster. I got Edward Scissorhands, Terminator 2, and The Mask.
Okay.
So
Awesome. You're
you're
showing off your cred right there, Mark.
Boom.
it's really just to cover all the crap behind it. So
Oh, okay.
Hey, it works.
Yeah, it looks good too.
thanks.
All right, let's get into the news. Fantastic Four trailer reaction and hidden number. I don't know what that means because Brad put this in. I do know that I watched the Fantastic Four trailer, and it's very dark. It's very grim. It's very I don't know. It's doesn't seem like a bit of fun at all in that movie. But it's only the teaser. So, your thoughts, Brad? Since you put it in the story.
No, actually, I think Mark put it in. And
Actually, I was the one that put it in.
Oh, okay.
That
Yep.
was me.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it in. I know for me, I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people have kind of went, oh my God, what are they doing to the Fantastic Four? I'm actually hoping for a little bit darker, but I'm a little twisted like that. But for me, alone, the idea of an elastic guy in real life is just as hard of a sell as a guy like Green Lantern being able to make anything with his ring. It's a hard sell. So by taking it a little darker, it might make it a little bit more sellable than a little bit more cartoony like the first two were. I didn't really have too much problems with the first two Fantastic Four. I know a lot of people did. I thought the second, I thought the second one could have been done better, but it wasn't horrible. But I like the new cast. I like the changes they've made. It has my interest peaked. And the problem I have with the Fantastic Four reaction by a lot of the viewers out there is the fact of nobody was giving this movie a chance from the start. From the minute they heard about it, the minute they saw screenshots, what little there was. So if you didn't have a teaser trailer that completely blew it out of the water, it wouldn't matter what they had. I think people would still be like, I'm not really interested. Oh, it looks too dark, whatever. They'd be very critical about it. It's just like the Man of Steel versus, Superman versus Batman. Everybody thinks it's going to be crap. So unless they come out with a phenomenal trailer that's just going to make everybody nerdgasm, people are going to be all kinds of critical about it, going, oh, we'll see what I told you. It looks like crap. Looks like, I like the dark look. But the number was brought to my attention. It was in a forum I was in, and someone said, well, just look at the number at 45 seconds into the trailer.
It's IP address.
And
right?
it's 23.21.190.125. And if you put that into Google, it actually comes up with the fictional land that is run by Doom, by Dr. Doom. It's a Wikipedia entry.
No, for Latveria.
Yeah. Brad would know more. I don't know very much about this comic, but I just thought it was a kick that I put that they had that in the screen in the corner out of the way, and it turns out that map is what she's looking at on the screen in the trailer. So they're showing some attention to detail, which I got a kick out of.
I have a question for Brad. Is this based off of the Ultimates Fantastic Four?
Yes, very much so. And the nice thing about that is it updated a lot of the science. I mean, if you're bombarded by cosmic rays, you just get cancer. You don't get superpowers. And that's just the deal, and we know that. And with the Ultimates, with the Ultimates, Reed Richards as a kid figured out that he could access a pocket dimension, or a dimension outside of ours. And as a super genius kid, he was working on this, and he ends up saying, hey, we can run this experiment because there could be threats from outside of our own dimension that could come to us. And the military is like, holy crap, we should really look into this. And he's working with a think tank, a group of other genius people his own age or a little bit older, and he works with this this spoiled rich kid from Latveria who is jealous of his intellect and his abilities, and he ends up futzing with his experiment that they do out in the desert, and that's what ends up giving them their powers. They end up kind of dimensionally shifting and being exposed to this dimensional energy, kind of shifting their DNA a little bit. So like Reed Richards, he does stretch, but also he doesn't really need to eat anymore, and he doesn't have organs, which is one of those things that, you know, people are like, well, if he stretches out, what happens to his pancreas? Well, nobody cares, but in this new setup, he doesn't have one, so it doesn't matter. And little things like that.
That makes more sense. It actually makes a lot more sense than going into space and being, like you said, being bombarded by cosmic rays.
Yep. Surprise! You got cancer! Yay! Yeah, that's no lottery won there. And you know, like with Johnny Storm, he ends up having to instead of having like necessarily skin like we would have, it actually is like plasma vents. So he actually processes energy from food slightly differently that allows him to kind of vent out plasma. His body processes it into like a plasma energy, or an energy that he can generate into plasma, which reflects as heat. So.
Okay. Now, not that it really matters and not that I care, but I'm interested. How do they explain the Sue Storm and Johnny Storm?
No, I think what they've kind of mentioned in here is that they're step siblings.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, the trailer's out. I thought it was cool looking. I think from the interviews I've heard with Josh Trank, that's his name, right? The director.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's taking a more science fiction approach to it, less cartoony, less fantastical, and more more science fiction than previous attempts at the story.
Which I think makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next comic book related story, and that is Fox confirms negotiations on an X-Men TV series. And this probably won't be happening until 2015. There's a weird thing with licensing because Fox movie studio owns the rights to X-Men, but this is not the movie studio, so Marvel has to have, like, they have to agree to it happening. What do you guys think?
Fox doesn't do sci-fi decently at all anyway. They should just take somebody should write a check, and they should all stand around it and either light it on fire and get one from it so they actually get use out of this money, or just flush it in the toilet. Fox just does this type of thing poorly, and they're going to have to bargain with Marvel and Disney. I don't see that Marvel and Disney being that interested in trying to play ball with them unless there's a lot of money negotiated for that. And quite honestly, I don't see a benefit to Marvel and Disney for it.
It sounds a lot like, oh, look, the CW is having great success with the DC shows, and ABC is doing pretty well with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Peggy Carter and Agent Carter. So we got to do something. We got to do a show. So what do we have? Oh, X-Men. Let's do X-Men.
Yeah, but they only have the film rights. They don't have the rights for it.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And it's
really,
they're not going to get the major characters either. It's going to be like minor characters that have never, or may not never, but rarely shown at all.
what Fox needs to do is just basically rebroadcast Generation X. Okay, for the people in the room here that know what this is, Generation X was a Marvel comic that was put out that was a team of teenage mutants. Jubilee was on the team, and there were newer mutant kids, and it was like it was an academy. It was a teaching environment for young mutants, and they did a pilot, and it was so horribly bad that it went nowhere. Which Matt Frewer deserved better than that. But they couldn't do it right then. They're not going to be able to do it right now. I don't think.
Okay.
They just
Well,
see Firefly.
Especially with Marvel trying to get its properties back,
Yeah.
they're not going to go ahead and give them licensing.
Sign that away? No.
Yeah.
Unless they make some kind of deal with the studio, with the film studio, and say, we want a little bit more of that pie, and we'll let you do the TV show.
Let us say mutants in our Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make it a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Well, yes and no. I think the way they've got things structured now by going with the Inhumans, they don't need mutants. They've already proven that they've made so much a filthy, disgusting amount of money with the properties that they have right now, which everybody thought was crap. They've proven they don't need that to make things work. They don't.
All right. Sounds good. Let's move on from the comic books to Star Wars. Han Solo, Boba Fett may team up for the first Star Wars spin-off. I think it's the first Star Wars.
Yeah, it's one of a number planned.
Yeah. Well, there's three. There's the episode 7, 8, and 9, right? And then there's the movies between those. There's 3 more in between those, right?
Yeah, there's supposed to be young Han Solo, Yoda, and they were talking Boba Fett, but I hadn't heard about the team up.
Yeah, it sounds like those rumors that we'd heard about, the young Boba Fett and the young Han Solo, they're combining those two into one. It's going to be basically their story, how they got to be enemies or whatever. That's what it sounds like, at least. And the rumor comes from Latino Review, which they're pretty accurate when it comes to their reports.
Yep.
Any more feedback on this? Any thoughts? Anessa, Matt, say something, please.
I don't have anything to contribute.
Banana!
I think with that, depending on how they do it, it could be really cool to have both of them in the same. Rather than them team up or be together, I would rather see how their rivalry, festered itself, and maybe, I'd hate to have to see them do a whole, they were once friends, but now they're enemies sort of angle, because we've had that before.
Well, and we know where Boba Fett came from.
Yeah,
so that's not true. We know already that that's not true.
Right.
So, I don't think they would do that.
Hopefully not. But.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like from the report that I read, the story that I read is they're reusing a lot of the Episode 7 sets. So the budget won't be as bad as they don't have to, because a lot of the sequel movies, they have to rebuild everything every single time.
Yeah.
Like they had to rebuild the Enterprise bridge for the D for one movie and then destroy it.
Yeah.
Because it was filmed actually on film, so they had to make it bigger, right? So they usually have to rebuild sets for spin-offs, but they don't have to do that for this because they already have the infrastructure in place for the Episode 7. So that's good news.
Yep.
All right, moving on. The journey continues in first 5 pages from new Galaxy Quest comic. Huh?
Should be interesting.
Yay!
Matt, are you seriously happy about that? Are you interested?
Not at all.
That's his I don't give a crap voice.
Okay.
That's
Like,
me trying
I'm
to be involved so
contributing,
Dad doesn't yell at me.
No, I wouldn't mind checking out the Galaxy Quest comic.
The
And that's your
Firefly has had a pretty good success run as a comic, so I think they could pull it off with Galaxy Quest.
Is this okay? So Galaxy Quest is on IDW. Was Firefly on IDW, or who was the publisher of that one?
Dark Horse.
Yeah, Dark Horse was that one.
Okay, all right. So here's the official synopsis. By the way, this comic is in stores now. The first issue is in stores now. Once upon a time, a troupe of has-been actors that starred on an old sci-fi show were enlisted by an alien race to save them from an intergalactic tyrant. Of course, that's the plotline for the film. Despite being way out of their depth, the cast somehow manages to save the aliens and stay alive, but their actions in outer space may have had dire consequences for another world. So that's the synopsis for the Galaxy Quest comic book series. That's as close to a sequel that we will probably ever get. My guess. All right.
Did I hear a foghorn?
No, that was our laundry going on.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe Mark had some sound effects ready to go.
No, that was the bell for Special Mark Studios for the rest of the crew to have lunch. Yeah, that's it.
Frick!
What a weird time to have lunch.
Yeah, I work them late, so.
you got your minions in the back working hard.
That's right.
All right, so this is I think this is my favorite story of the week. Classic 1950 sci-fi flick The Blob is getting a reboot from Expendables 2 director. Goldcrest Films is digging deep into the vault, their vault, to bring a 1950s sci-fi classic back to life. Deadline is reporting that director Simon West has signed on to helm the remake of the 1958 horror sci-fi classic The Blob. The film is apparently on the fast track with principal photography set for this summer. The original film starred a very young Steve McQueen and followed townsfolk as they tried to survive a massive gelatinous alien that crashed and attacked the city of Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Okay, show of hands, survey time. Who all has seen the original Blob?
I've seen the original and at least one of the remakes, and I don't know.
There was a 1988 remake that was done it actually done really well, in all honesty.
Yeah, it was not bad.
There was also like a 1970 something Beware of the Blob.
There was Son of the Blob, I believe there was.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was Beware of the Blob. But
Really? Son of the Blob? Is that? Are you serious?
Yeah, it was called Beware the Blob. Also known Son of the Blob was the one that was done.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was a
I don't
sequel.
know.
It was a sequel and a spoof of the original.
Yeah, I don't think that was the one that I saw. I think it was the one from 1988. But I don't know. I'm kind of happy with the hokiness of the first one, and how you've got like this thing that's crashed to Earth, and you've got this guy with a stick that's like poking at the blob, and it goes from like on the ground, that's supposed to be slow moving, from on the ground to on the stick in like a split second, and it. No, I really love that about the movie, and I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired of remakes.
That was your pick. That was one of your picks on our other podcast, The Alien Invasion, right?
Probably. Yeah, it probably was, just because I really enjoyed the original one. So.
Is that on archive.org? Is that not Creative Commons? Is that public domain, The Blob?
The original, I'm not sure if it hit public domain yet, if they let the license lapse. That's really weird on which one of those old ones are and aren't, because you get into DVD releases and all kinds of things. Some guys buy up the licenses for them. I don't think that one is in public domain yet.
Well, if this Goldcrest Films is digging into their vault, that must mean that they own the rights to the original Blob. So
yeah.
Okay.
Or yeah. At this point, they would have to.
Or they bought it a while ago. Or they bought it a while ago and held it in their vault.
For a while.
Saying, we've got a gold mine here.
We'll see how it goes. Do you think they'd be better off doing like not a spoof, but like having a campy version like the original?
No.
I think if they're gonna remake it, then they need to make it modern, because it would end up being kind of like Psycho with Anne Heche and just being like the exact same thing. And at that point, it's like, what's the point of even remaking it if you're gonna do everything in the same style? So if they're gonna remake it, they need to do their own take on it.
Okay, the verdict is in. I think we can all agree with that. That's some logic right there, Inessa. Thank you.
Boom.
All right, we got two more news stories. It's official. CBS has found it. Supergirl, Melissa Benoist.
Yeah.
She has been on Glee, and now she's going to be Kara Zor-El, the cousin of Kal-El, a.k.a. Superman. So I saw a picture. She tweeted a picture of a before and after. She's already like colored her hair blonde. She's a natural brunette. Are you guys excited about this one?
Yes.
Finally.
She was in Whiplash as well, a really great movie that's up for a nomination or two.
Oh yeah, right.
So, and it all depends on the approach they take with it, like any of these. I mean, in all honesty, I didn't think Green Arrow would work, but it does. And now they're doing The Flash, which works. So it all depends, I think, on their approach with Supergirl. If they can make it a strong female character-driven series, that'd be great. But they've tried that before, and those haven't done so well. So, yeah, I think it's just everybody's in holding pattern to see what the first few episodes are going to be like.
Well, if Greg Berlanti, is that how you say his name? Berlanti? The producer of Arrow and The Flash, if he can work his magic like he has with those two shows for this one, then it's going to be a hit.
As long as he doesn't make her out to be as annoying as Laurel, I'm happy. Because Christ, I hate Laurel.
What is Laurel? I'm not as familiar with Arrow.
She's Oliver's ex-girlfriend, lawyer chick who's
her.
like
Now
never happy.
And
Like she's like, oh man, I really want my sister back. Oh man, my sister back. I'm pissed off.
And now she's a superhero, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that now that they've like, because I know they had to kind of like extend or delay her becoming the Black Canary. I'm hoping that now that she is finally becoming the Black Canary, that they make her a lot less annoying. Because, yeah, for those first couple of seasons, I was hoping that she was the sister that died.
Wow.
Okay, so you guys want to hear the brief synopsis?
I hate Laurel. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You guys want to hear the brief synopsis of Supergirl?
Always.
Okay, so she was born on Krypton, but vacated the planet just before it was destroyed. As the series begins, she has spent her entire time on Earth trying to hide her powers, but events lead her to finally start using them. Dum dum dum. Other characters who will appear include Kara's foster sister, Alex Danvers, who could potentially become a villain or foil for her adopted sibling, and Jimmy Olsen, the young Planet or Daily Planet photographer, is going to be in this. So
yeah, let's wait to see how many people complain about that casting choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know,
Yep.
It was just. It's going to be the Johnny Storm debate all over again.
It's the Johnny Storm debate. It's the Perry White debate with Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne. It's
Yeah.
it's the internet, though. People complain. They complain about anything. So
No. Really?
it's like it's life.
It
It's just
is.
how it
Yes.
happens. So,
word.
all right, final news story. I know that Brad would be pretty excited about this story. Babylon 5 creator heading back to TV to write the Red Mars series.
As long as he's not writing Spider-Man, I'm A-okay with that.
Wait a second. Was he supposed to write Spider-Man? Or did
He wrote for Spider-Man, the comic book.
Oh, the comic book. Okay. I thought
And-
you were talking about the movie for a second.
He peed all over Spider-Man, let me tell
Oh,
you.
yeah. Okay.
He's one of the most hated Spider-Man writers.
I did not know this. So the person that we're talking about is J. Michael
Straczynski.
Straczynski. He was the writer for Babylon 5, the creator of Babylon 5, and he's been doing this and that in between, or since that show went off the air. And he's going to be writing this Red Mars series that Spike is producing. We're not sure yet if he's going to write just the pilot episode or for the entire series. That is yet to be revealed to us. This sounds like I read the first two books. They're a tough read. There's a lot going on in those stories, so it's perfect for a TV series. A lot of detail, long, drawn-out narrative. And him, I guess, Straczynski knows long, drawn-out narratives because Babylon 5 was on the air for quite a while, and it was very detailed too, right? A lot of subplots and.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. I still have to watch that whole series because every time I'd pick up an episode, I'd be like, I gotta watch this from the
Yeah,
beginning.
you have to watch it from the beginning to really know what's going on, because it was very episode. Well, there weren't individual episodes. There was
Yeah.
a whole narrative and political intrigue between the different races, and Babylon 5 is kind of an ambassador station, so there's everything. People are coming in and out of there all the time, and it just you really needed to start from the beginning.
So it sounds like he's the perfect writer. I think they're going to retain him for the series. That's my opinion.
Well, the positive is it's under the guidance of a Game of Thrones producer, which those guys know how to handle multiple storylines like, mad. I mean, if you ever watch Game of Thrones, how many different plots are going on. So, if he's producing it, I think that has some hope to it as well.
All right. So far, we don't know when it's going to be out. That's kind of on. But it's on the fast track. Again, something else on the fast track. So hopefully, maybe 2016 we'll see that. Sci-fi is going to be. It's got a bright future in the next few years. Very excited about the return of pure sci-fi to TV and movies. All right, let's move on to our discussion story. And since we have Mark, the maven of movies. Hey, I just gave you a new name, Mark.
I see that.
Not Movie Man Mark. Mark, the maven of
movies.
Isn't a maven female, though?
I was gonna say that's female.
Well, it's the 21st century.
You can be a maven.
But let's break stereotypes, right?
That's right.
So, since Mark, the movie man, is on here, let's talk about the movies being released in 2015, the sci-fi movies coming out in 2015. And I got this list off of IMDb, and they're the most popular on IMDb. So apparently people can rate movies way ahead of time already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
IMDb don't go by its ratings anyway. That's a whole rant right there. So.
What do you think is the best place to go online for ratings of movies? Is it Rotten Tomatoes or is it?
No, Rotten Tomatoes you can't really go by either. It's personal choice. I mean, Common Sense. There's Common Sense Media, I think it's called, or whatnot. That one's pretty good. They don't exactly rate it as far as good or bad, but they tell you how good is what's in it. basically without spoiling it, and they also tell you what age range the film is good for. So there's Common Sense Media. They're all flawed. A lot of people go by Rotten Tomatoes, but a number of us have seen the flaws and the kinks in the armor for Rotten Tomatoes. So it's tough. Metacritic, a lot of people go by too. So it's pick your poison, basically. But IMDb would be probably my last choice for it, because anyone can log in with anything and rate it. So there's been people who have movies out there that they create dummy accounts and they do all kinds of praising, so they rate it really high so that it'll show up on more lists. So
yeah. This is this is why we had you on, Mark. You got the insight on all this stuff. All right, so let's start with the. Brad must have been voting on IMDb. Avengers: Age of Ultron, May 1st, is the first one on the list. Tony Stark tries to jumpstart a dormant peacekeeping program. Of course, that's the Avengers. Things go awry, and it's up to the Avengers to stop the villainous Ultron from enacting his terrible plans. And of course, it's the introduction of Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and what's the android character?
The Vision.
Vision,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's going to be they're laying the groundwork for the next group of the Avengers.
And it's the end of Phase 2 or Phase 3. What phase they're in? I don't remember what phase.
Phase 2.
Phase 2.
It's the end of Phase 2, and it's the Avengers movie. It's Whedon. I think this one is probably going to be a little geared more towards fan base, but because of the story. But they sold Guardians of the Galaxy to the world, so I'm sure that this one will be fine.
Plus, it's Whedon directing, and Whedon is so good at ensembles, it's ridiculous. I mean, just look at that. Not the first teaser that came out, not the first trailer that came out, but the second one where they added they're sitting around trying to lift up Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's got Whedon all over it. He's got it all over that scene.
He does characters well, and he does dialogue well between multiple people. He gives everybody a purpose, which some people don't do. Next generation. I'm talking to you writers. They run out of giving everybody something to do. So I think Age of Ultron will be fine. It'll be good. I'm looking forward to Spader being the voice of Ultron. Personally, I love Spader. So. But
it's weird to go back and forth between watching the trailer for Age of Ultron and watching the Blacklist. It's like
Blacklist. Or throw yourself even for more of a loop. Throw in Stargate. There you go.
Yeah. Or what was his character on The Office? California. His last name is California. Is it Richard California?
Yeah.
Robert.
California. All right, let's move on to the next comic book related movie, and it also starts with an A. It's Ant-Man, long in development. It had what's his ass attached.
What's his ass? Really?
It could go for about 80 different directors in Hollywood.
What's his name from?
Oh, I had Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, yeah.
That's what his ass is.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my new favorite. My new favorite thing. What's his ass? Oh, what's his ass?
Not his face, but his ass.
Okay, yes, Edgar Wright. He was working on this film for the longest time. It's been in development for quite a while, but he dropped off. I guess he couldn't get along with Marvel and what they wanted to do, so they brought somebody else in. It stars your Paul Rudd, your Michael Douglas, your Evangeline Lilly. That's a great cast by itself. And basically, Brad, do you want to sum up the plot or the concept of Ant-Man, what it's all about?
Ant-Man is basically a scientist that I'm still stuck on what's his ass. A scientist who found a way to he created PIM particles, basically a way to shrink a person down and still keep their relative strength intact. So if you can bench press 300 pounds as a normal sized person, you would be able to still bench an appropriate amount as basically what ants do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ants are incredibly strong for their size. It's the same principle.
Okay. Hank Pym is the Michael Douglas character. He was in the
Correct.
comics. He was the first Ant-Man.
Yes, he was.
But in the movie, he's old, and they're bringing Scott Lang in. He's the second one.
Yes, and in the comics, he stole Hank Pym's Ant-Man costume to accomplish something, and they're sticking to that kind of motif here in the film. So.
Okay, cool. Release date of July 17th. Okay, one that's coming out next week, Jupiter Ascending, or the alternate name, Juniper Ascending.
You know, with what's his ass.
What's her ass?
What's her ass?
Mila Kunis, Channing Tatum, and Eddie Redmayne. They're Vulcans. They all have pointed ears in this film.
I love this. This is going to be the biggest budget B sci-fi film ever to hit the big screen. It looks cheesy. It looks, yeah.
So Mark, how do you think it's going to do at the box office?
I think it's going to be a hard sell for people. Personally, I like it just because it's a. I don't know if it's based off of a graphic novel or is this. I think this is their original script, because I like sci-fi that doesn't necessarily bounce off of a comic book or have Marvel in front of it. So any sci-fi that doesn't have Marvel in front of it, I'm willing to give it a chance. But I don't think the masses are going to accept this too well, just from the trailers that I saw, because since it's done by the guys who did The Matrix, people are expecting another Matrix, I think. Though looking at it, I'm like, why can't they make my Wing Commander movie, damn it?
You know what the problem is with this film already? And my wife told me this. She said there's too much going on, and I have to it's very complicated. The trailers that they've shown that they've released.
It's a setup for a trilogy, from what I heard.
Every studio needs their Harry Potter.
Well, it's the guys who did The Matrix. I think they're trying to do that again. From what I heard, this is going to be a trilogy, and so this is the setup for it. So it's going to be the setup movie for things to come, possibly. But I think it's going to be a hard sell, with everybody drooling and looking forward to the Age of Ultron and Ant-Man and the other Marvel stuff. I think any original sci-fi is going to have a tough time competing against those just because of the fan base, even if it is good. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be campy, cheesy fun, from what I can tell. So.
Yeah. No, I want to see it definitely. Maybe not in the movie theater, but definitely right away when it comes out on home video.
Visually, it's going to be a spectacle because of those guys. Those guys can do visually, so lots of flash. Whether or not there's going to be a deep story there, have to see.
Well, it looks fun. There's some interesting scenes. They're advertising the hell out of it right now. It's all over the place. So I'd be surprised that it doesn't do well, because they're basically shoving it down people's throats.
Yeah.
Jupiter Ascending.
Are you okay?
No,
do you need a hug or a Valium?
I'm not okay.
Okay.
I like hugs.
Okay.
Matt will give you a hug.
What are you, the snowman from Frozen, Matt? I like hugs.
I've never seen that movie, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna drive down there and we're gonna show it to you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Feel free to come by on Friday. I won't be here.
Oh, we'll wait.
Yeah. No, I know these guys. These two. They will sit outside their house with their.
Oh, we'll wait.
I have a camera out front now, and it sends me an email every time someone's there. So I'll just wait till the emails stop.
Yes.
We'll wait out back.
But we'll come bringing lots of beer.
Oh.
See, that's all. It takes.
And I have your honey mustard and communion caramels.
Bring chicken wings and we got a date.
And you're the songs from Frozen. If you ever watched the movie, Matt, I'm
Don't.
warning you, the songs
Don't.
inside your head, and they will actually drill through your brain. They will
The only version of any song from that movie that I will listen to is the cover of "Let It Go" by Betraying the Martyrs.
Yes.
I've heard it. It's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is it like the Let Me Poop?
No. It's like a French deathcore band.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Actually, that part of the song's sung, but thanks for playing.
It's
All
great.
right, let's move on to my prediction, the biggest movie of 2015, Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. Although, do they count it even after the revenue or the box office after the first of the year? Does that still go towards, if it was released in 2014, that counts?
Yeah.
Or 2015?
I don't know if it's going to go for the year, but it'll go towards its final box office count. But whether or not it's for, I don't know if they'll count it towards it or not. But it doesn't matter, because you look at every movie that was going to come out in December around that time, and as more stuff is released about this film, everybody's moving away from it. Like everybody's moving away from the Death Star. It's like, get away! It's like, because nobody wants to go up against it. The more they see footage of it, they're like, yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be huge, because I think there's nothing
And
going to compete against it.
what we're talking about is, of course, is Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens, December 18th. So that's all that we really need to say about that. The next one on the list, and I was surprised to see the release date of March 20th, Insurgent. That's the follow-up to
Divergent.
Divergent.
which didn't it just come? It was in the summer, right? So it's been less than a year between the first and second one.
Well, it's the old Back to the Future 2-3 strategy that all studios take now with these young adult novels that are a series. Like you said, looking for the next Harry Potter, they're shooting these back to back because these actors and actresses could get older.
Yeah.
Yeah, they age real quick, so...
Kids grow up fast.
Yeah. So, I mean, they ran into that with Harry Potter as soon as, what's-his-name got taller than Harry. They're like, oh, crap. We didn't expect him to grow like that.
Mark,
Ron.
Mark, you mean what's his ass?
Yeah, what's his ass?
Old what's
red.
his ass.
I'm gonna steal that. I might have to. I might have to start saying "what's his ass" instead of "what's his nuts."
Divergent,
You can change up between the two.
I was impressed with Divergent, so I'm not sure about Insurgent. So
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence. It had its moments, and from the trailers I see of this one, I don't know. I'm not really. I'm not so.
yeah. The bad thing is I see potential there, like they did with Divergent, and they didn't take that potential. They went a lighter route, and I'm like, you can get so dark right here, and they didn't. And you're like, oh, love story, no.
Yeah, well, it's young adult, so there's got to be a love story.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, this one's really good. Okay, sorry, NASA, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I guess there doesn't really have to be a love story, because I mean, Harry Potter wasn't all about the love story.
Mm-hmm.
There was little hints here and there, but it wasn't a huge part of the storyline, especially in the movie or in the movies. So I'm it doesn't necessarily have to have a love story.
But that's what?
No.
That's a very different young adult story as opposed to a lot of other ones that have come out since, because the Twilight series there was a love story there. But
I haven't seen any of the new Mocking.
Yeah, the Catching
Hunger
Fire.
Games.
Catching Fire. I haven't seen
Catching
any of the new
Mockingbird.
movies. I've only seen
Catching
Catching Fire, Catching something. I don't know.
The
But
Catching
no, I haven't seen any beyond the first one, so I don't know how intensive it is. But in the books, it was there, the whole love story thing. I don't know. I didn't really have much interest after the first movie, just because I think it could have been better if they included some of Katniss's inner dialogue to kind of explain more as to why she's doing what she's doing, because there's a lot of inner dialogue in the books, and they took that out of the movies, and I think that just really took away from the movies.
I think that could have worked if they had that kind of running dialogue in the back, like between
Well,
scenes.
I remember going to see the first movie, and the people that I was with, they hadn't read the books, and they just had all sorts of questions, and I'm like, this is explained. If this would have been explained if they had just at least included some of Katniss's inner thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't have seemed as random or disconnected, and so after that I didn't really have much interest in seeing the following movies.
Okay.
But
All right.
anyway.
We'll see. We'll see how it is. The next one looks really interesting. Ex Machina, April 10th. A young programmer is selected to participate in a breakthrough experiment in artificial intelligence by evaluating the human qualities of a breathtaking female AI. Again,
Isn't that based off of the graphic
Anime,
novel
I think.
or anime
Yeah.
or comic book or something? I don't know.
No, there was an Ex Machina comic book, but that was a completely different story.
Oh, okay.
Completely different.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if they were like related, just because the
No.
name is so.
were they both artificial intelligent stories?
No, in the comic book for DC, it was a guy gets caught in a small explosion while investigating something, and he gets something grafted to him, which allows him to control machines
Mhm.
All right.
and communicate with machines.
Have you guys seen the preview, the trailers for this Ex Machina?
I have not.
No, I have not seen the trailer yet.
Looks
The
very good.
website's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's coming out fairly soon. Next one on the list is Jurassic World. Matt?
The reboot, not reboot.
I would say it's. I don't know. That's a hard argument to make because it's not a reboot, but it's a rekindling maybe.
That's a good term.
That's a good term. I like that, rekindling.
Yeah. Because it picks up where the first one left off, but there's been movies between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're totally ignoring those other two movies.
Yeah. Never happened, and we'll be good. So Chris Pratt, who's going to be in everything for the next 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, he is.
He and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I saw that they're apparently talking about rebooting Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt also.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I would not have an issue with that.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I heard another podcast talking about this. They should treat Indiana Jones just like they do the James Bond films. Just
Yes.
get a new actor every few years, all are good.
And the way the stories
I
are
would be
structured,
okay
you
with
could
that.
do that. Yeah.
The
The way the stories
but
are
yeah,
structured,
like I
you
don't
could
want
do
like
that.
an Indiana Jones #4 type scenario. Just no.
So.
Let's just. I just don't want them to put Shia LaBeouf in there. 'Cause he's
Indiana Jones is still a trilogy to me. I don't care what anybody says.
Could we please call him by his God-given name, Louis Stevens?
not. What?
Sure.
Stevens.
Yeah, that's all that guy ever did that was worthwhile.
What?
Shia LaBeouf. He was Louis Stevens on Even Stevens.
Even Stevens. It was a
Yes.
Disney show.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Really?
There
Where
was
have
a fun. It's a fun show,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I watched it as an adult, so there's no excuse.
Me too.
It's kind of like me a couple years ago watching My Little Pony. That was a dark time for me.
Oh, that's because Glenn made you watch it. He kept insisting. He's like, "Come on, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch My Little Pony." He's such a brony.
No. Yeah, my wife almost left me when she found out that I watched My Little Pony.
Wait. You're an actual brony?
No, I'm not.
No, he's not
No.
an actual brony. No, we're just giving
No,
him
someone suggested that he watch My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Someone who
Right.
is a brony.
Don't
and
do it,
Dave
Dave.
watched it, and his wife was like,
Don't
"Nope,
go there.
we're done."
Once you start down the dark path, will it ever download
Just-
your destiny?
Just do heroin instead.
It's true. Yeah.
Less detrimental.
Or Or just have somebody take an aluminum baseball bat and whack you in the genitals like once a day.
You know, this show goes in the oddest directions.
That's because Brad and I are here.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
true.
just ask Mark. I do his show, the final. I'm sorry. I
Spoiler.
almost said the final cut, the spoiler room, from time to time, and that was literally my review of Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah.
Stating I would rather be hit in the genitals with a baseball bat than watch that movie again.
So
Yeah.
Well, we do have a baseball bat, sweetie. So
Yes, we do. I'm sitting right next to it. And if you ever say, "Honey, let's watch Flight of the Navigator," you run into this room, you grab the bat, and you hit me in the genitals. Give
you
me
know what?
permission.
You know what? If you were to mention that or bring that idea up, I think that would be a sure sign that it would be alternate reality or parallel universe Brad that was there, not the real Brad Ludwig.
yeah, like what have
Yeah.
you done with my boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yep.
The clone.
That'll be how you know.
wow.
Let's watch Flight of the
Suddenly, I'm
Navigator.
calling like the FBI or something to come investigate.
All right.
Matt, did you like Flight of the Navigator?
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, there you go.
Do you want to explain it to us?
Nope.
Nope. I don't want to hear it.
All right.
All right, we got 3 more movies to get through here. Fantastic Four, we talked about earlier. The trailer's out August 7th. Miles Teller, never heard of him. Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan. I have a question about Kate Mara.
Did Michael Jordan legally change his middle name to basketball? That's assume
Michael
that's what the B's
Basketball.
good for.
Jordan.
He just dunks basketballs the whole movie.
Likes him on
In
fire.
his Nike pose.
Okay, before the Fantastic Four, refresh my memory, everybody. What was Michael B. Jordan in?
The Chicago Bulls.
No. Shut up.
He was in.
Oh no, I
He
suppose I
wasn't
could
in Friday
look
Night
out.
Lights, was he?
Hmm?
He wasn't in
Mike-
Friday Night Lights, was he?
He was in Fruitville Station, and he was also in a couple. Red Tails and Chronicle. He was
Okay.
in Chronicle.
Okay. That makes
played
sense
the-
because Joshua Trank or Tank?
Mhm. Trank.
Trank. That's his movie, Chronicle, right?
Yeah. So he brought him in for that. So
He was also a
yeah,
voice.
I like the director. So.
He was a voice in Gears of War 3.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we talked about it earlier. We don't have to really add much to it. We seem to all be pretty excited to see that one, despite other a-holes on the internet.
What's his asses?
So
I thought he was
On the
talking about
internet.
me.
Terminator Genesis. This is Mark's movie of the year.
This is where Mark and I disagree. I liked you
Yeah.
until you
Oh,
made
that's
nasty comments about Terminator.
It's the riff.
sorry.
It's the riff that happened between Mark and Matt.
Yeah.
It's been a great team. If it
Nothing.
wasn't-
Nothing in the trailer. Nothing in the trailer caught me. In fact, that scar that they had on him, if it was any deeper, it'd go through his head. So, but I don't know. I'll have to see. Yeah.
You seem to be forgetting about one very important visual in that trailer, and that is Arnold friggin' Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all that movie needs.
Matt's a big fan.
Matt, no,
Ah.
not the word. Big is not the word for it. Matt,
Huge.
the fan, the Schwarzenegger fan.
If it makes you feel better, Matt, I did enjoy his film The Last Stand. So.
See, and I do not think that Arnold Schwarzenegger is like a top-notch actor.
Mhm.
I just really enjoy all of his movies for what they're worth. And it's, I guess, through this podcast, it's just kind of turned into my shtick. So I have to fully support everything that man does.
Okay, here's proof that Matt is the biggest Schwarzenegger fan in the world. He actually did an impersonation of Douglas Quaid.
I was heavily urged to do it.
During the
He was strongly encouraged.
during the entire he was the guest geek for that week's show, the Sci-Fi Geeks Club. Douglas Quaid.
I've done some dumb shit in my day.
Mark
It
it.
was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn it, Matt. All right.
That's
All right, hang on.
I got.
All right, let's run through this rest of this list here. There's only one. Did I say release date? Yeah, July 1st. July 1st is. I'm excited about the rest of the cast really,
I'm gonna
because
take off of work.
you got your J.K. Simmons, you got your Jay Courtney, and you got Matt Smith. Matt Smith is in the movie too. So
Yeah. Though Matt Smith in the posters looks like he's lost, so I'm not sure yet.
He might be
He
lost.
does
You don't
kind of
know.
look like he's lost.
yeah,
He's like, what am I doing here?
Like, wait, what?
lost because he's got to do an American accent. Is that why?
I sure hope not.
He's got to have an American accent, right? I mean,
No, he doesn't. It can be an international.
Necessarily.
It can be
I'm
an
fine with
international
him using
army.
his original- Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with him using his original accent. It's whatever.
okay. All right. One final movie. One final sci-fi movie coming out in 2015. We've missed a few. These are just, again, the top ones on IMDb. And the one that we're going to wrap things up with is Tomorrowland,
Yes.
May 22nd. Bound by a shared destiny, a teen bursting with scientific curiosity and a former boy genius inventor embark on a mission to unearth the secrets of a place somewhere in time and space that exists in their collective memory. Ooh. George Clooney, Britt Robertson, and Hugh Laurie.
Yay!
Hugh Laurie did it. So basically, you put a ring on and you see a different world or something like that.
It's a pin. I think it's a pin, actually, that she had that she picked up. But in any case, I'm really curious about this film because I saw just the one teaser trailer, and that alone, I looked at it going, this could be really, really cool. And the fact that the lead is a female. It's a female, if I remember from the trailer, that picks it up and opens the world to Tomorrowland or whatever. I mean, when I heard when they were going to make a movie about Tomorrowland, everybody's like, what's that going to be? Bunch of people riding in a roller coaster? But no, it...
For those that don't know, Tomorrowland is like a ride or a part of Disney World, Disneyland.
Right. Yeah, Disneyland or... No, I think it's in World. But that's where Space Mountain is, I believe, is in Tomorrowland.
Okay.
I don't know. It's been years since I've been to the Land of the Mouse, so...
Was that...
But
Is it an Epcot Center? I don't remember. Or was
No.
that actually Disney World?
I would think it was
Actually, wait.
in-
I guess it was Disney World because I remember Space Mountain.
Yeah.
So...
Hang on.
But I'm curious about it. It's the one that's most curious because they haven't released a whole lot about it, so I'm very curious about that. So
Yeah, it looks from the teaser that I saw, it looks fantastic. So looking forward to it as well.
And any film that actually promotes scientific exploration and curiosity, I'm all for, because we have too much anti-intellectualism going on in a lot of movies. So the fact it seems like they have one that's promoting interest in science, I'm all for it. So.
Okay. No, I agree. I totally agree. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Sci-Fi Geeks Club. And hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. You can find us by going to sci-fi-geeks-club.galacticnetcasts.com, sci-fi geeks club.galacticnetcasts.com. Watch our episodes at youtube.com/galacticnetcasts. And you can search for us on iTunes and Stitcher as well. If you like what you hear, please leave us 5 stars and review, and then tell your friends and family about us. That's the most important thing you can do, is tell your friends that you enjoy this great podcast called Sci-Fi Geeks Club, and that way we get more listeners, we get more people sharing the show, and it's all good. It's a win-win for everybody. You can leave us feedback by going or emailing galacticnetcasts@gmail.com, galacticnetcasts@gmail.com, or call our voicemail number. That's 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and thanks, Mark. Where can people find you online? Where do you want people to go online to find what you do?
To find the best place to go is to specialmarkproductions.com. That is like the central place where you could go from there and find my stuff. That I've got a playlist for all the We Live film reviews I do. I've got an archive of the spoiler room that I do there. I've got my Final Cut reviews there. Pretty much, and there's a forum there as well. You can sign up and talk about the episodes that we do. So specialmarkproductions.com is probably the easiest place to go. And I actually have a link to Galactic Netcasts on the page. So you go there and you can come back here. So
Thank you for doing that, Mark. That's awesome.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, I'm Dave Nelson, and I call this meeting of the Sci-Fi Geeks Club. Hang on. I'm never prepared for this. Adjourned. Here we go.
That's what she said.
Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Good night.
Matt?
Bye, Dad. I was waiting for Brad to say bye.
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 Bye, Dad.
All right, hang on. I gotta end this here.